Okay, so now it's 5 o'clock, and so we begin our session. I think there'll be a lot of people joining in on the YouTube as well as the Zoom as we go on. And of course, we are recording this session, so we will put out this recording in our magazines, in all the maritime and journals and the websites also. So first and foremost, thank you, Sunaya, and thank you, Simi, for coming here. And it's a amazing thing to have both of you here on the same platform. It's a very unique program that we've done. I don't think such a program has happened before in our industry. And it's first of all, I would like to welcome all the ladies and gentlemen, speakers, and the panelists. And there are some people also who are supposed to join in later. And there's been many other events related to women in the shipping industry. In fact, last few years, we've had a lot of IMO had dedicated the last year to the women seafarers. And we've had lots and lots of events for women empowerment and leadership in women. However, this is a great opportunity for us to understand the cross-border empowerment and diversity experiences in two very, very major industries, the aviation as well as the shipping. So I think this is going to be a very, very exciting session, and we are going to have a lot of question answers, and even from people who are joining us. So first of all, I would like to welcome the speakers and introduce Captain Sunitha Garpande. Doesn't need any kind of introduction. So she's already so famous, and first female master of 130-year-old Danish company, Torm. And she's not only the first female master of Torm, she's the only woman to be promoted to the rank of captain in any foreign flagships, any foreign organization, right? So that's a great, great achievement by its own. So accolades to Sunitha, lovely. She is the recipient of 100 Women Achievers Award by the President of India in 2016. And she was awarded with the Nari Shakti Samman by National Women Revolution Council, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, facilitated by Seafarers Achievement Award on the Day of the Seafarer, that is 2019, 25th June, for successful completion of the road trip from India to Thailand, Mumbai, Bangkok, Mumbai, road trip. Wow. 10,000 kilometers. Then I'll ask Shushmita how much time it takes to fly that kilometers. That many kilometers later.
Less than 4 hours.
Less than 4 hours, my God. So you've actually driven for 4 hours flight time. So Sunitha is also recognized as Netflix Sheroes of India 2020. Do you have Netflix free now, Sunitha? Have they given you free registrations? No.
I wish.
This is a marvelous journey of Sunitha for the 18 years counting. First girl cadet of SCI in 2003, batch commander and best cadet during her training. SCI, she was there from 2003 to 2012. Then she joined NYK and then Torm, and she's presently sailing in Torm. And she sailed on Aframax tankers, very large crude oil carriers, product carriers, chemical container ships, chemical ships, container ships, passenger vessels. Wow. So you must be really, all the companies will be gunning for you, you know. So she doesn't end with her. I know where she's coming from. Even, and I know Sunitha's family is a family, celebrated family, which has not only her as a presidential awardee, but her mother. Her mother has also been awarded with the Presidential Medal for her excellent service of 36 years in Police Headquarters, Bhopal.
Wow.
Give her our deepest regards, please,
Sure.
Sunitha, on behalf of us, and we really cherish. And we know where your skills have come from.
Totally.
Where your skills have come from, right? And of course, Sunitha is involved in a lot of social work also. So, coming to Captain Shushmita, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Shushmita in uniform is a lady pilot, and proudly so. She stepped into aviation at a young age of just 16 years. I mean, when she told me, it was almost unbelievable. 16 years, and right after her 12th standard, she got her commercial pilot's license, CPL, at the age of 18. So she wanted to actually fly an aircraft before she drove a car. So she got her pilot's license before she got her driving license. She became the youngest female pilot instructor at the age of 19. She was already instructing people to fly.
Wow.
She worked as an instructor for 5 years, approximately during recession. Then she joined the airlines and flew commercial jet aircrafts and got her command. Then she's been flying with SpiceJet as a captain for the last 3.5 years approximately. Now, so this is welcome to both of you, and I would
Very
just
nice
like
knowing you about Sushmita. Very nice knowing
Likewise,
you.
likewise. Thank you.
fantastic. And then today we are going to go on a really big journey on comparing the two industries and comparing how women, acclimatize themselves in our industry. So just a little bit of word that I've written down for these gender being a stereotypical role in all the industries, not only maritime and aviation. Gender discrimination somehow finds itself in all spheres of our lives, but manifests mostly in our life choices, especially our career choices. For years, men and women have gravitated towards selective jobs for the sole fact that they were considered a woman or men's job. Gender stereotypes have shaped our lives and continue to do so. But a gender gap is not an issue only in certain careers. No matter the industry, women hold fewer leadership positions. If you take the CEOs of all the Fortune 500 companies, we only have 24 women CEOs now in the world. Although we have seen a huge improvement towards liberating men and women from the gender stigma, there is still a lot of work to be done. These stereotypes are imposed into children from the very childhood. This comes from their parents, their relatives, their teachers, and finally, and the most importantly, lack of proper representation. Children's drawings of the working world reveal significant gender stereotyping, according to a study conducted for International Women's Day. Children in this study were asked to draw certain professions as they identify them. The drawing showed a clear gender skew for specific roles. For example, 81% of the children drew nurses as females, 88% of the children drew builders as males, 80% of the children drew bankers as male, while 65% of the children drew lawyers as male, making it the most gender balanced of all the four professions. And so it goes on in our lives as we grow up, we get the influences from our parents, from the society, and unfortunately, even without knowing, we develop a subconscious bias towards women and towards everything concerning women. So today we are going to talk about these issues. And my first question will be to dear lady Sushmita. Women are responsible for many major milestones in the origin of aviation, right? I was reading that women in aviation started in India as early as 1924.
That's right,
But
sir.
coming to modern day, the world average for women pilot, whereas the world average is 3 to 4, and quite beautifully, the percentage in India is as high as 13. I never knew that myself.
Right.
So in India, the India is the largest employer of women pilots in the whole world. So
That's
how
right.
are whereas in shipping, the numbers that we have as of today in shipping, we have just 2,850 women seafarers.
Pilots. Wow.
Yes, yeah, it's less than even, it's almost 1% of the total population of women of seafarers in India today. So,
Okay.
Sushmita, how are female pilots changing the narrative in the aviation industry today?
Oh, well, once in uniform, actually, we don't have any gender. Once you're in uniform, you just your whatever post you're at, whether you're a captain or a first officer. But it's like you said, you rightly said, India has the maximum number of women pilots, 12.4 to be precise, which is quite a lot. Globally, if you see, the percentage is very less. And we are doing a pretty good job at it. Of what I get to hear from my colleagues or how I see my co-pilots or my colleagues flying with me, they're doing a beautiful job. I think it's just about awareness. Like as and when more people get to know about it, I'm pretty sure they'll all want to join.
Yes, and Suneha, I'll come back to you on this. Shipping is how do you change women? What kind of change do you think women have brought into shipping?
Shaukat, women bringing up change is, I guess, their mere existence because you when the females are being admitted or the cadets which are getting into training, you would see every college would have one girl, two girls, three girls. A class would have only single girl during the entrance time. And then as you proceed onto the ship, you are as such, I mean, you know the profession very well. You are not going to find two ranks on the ship, right? The same ranks on the ship. So a female, when I started in 2003, we were told we were the first batch of girls to join an Indian shipping company, Shipping Corporation of India, as cadets. So there were females as a radio officer, as a medical officer in a passenger ship, or radio officer even on a cargo ship. But cadets, nobody has even started thinking about it. I have absolutely not known the reason why it should be that they were not there. But knowing this fact that the Indian Navy, even now, NDA, females are not being admitted into it, there has to be some reason. The well-known reason should be with them. What is the I mean, are they are not well equipped with their trainings, or the mindset is not as such, or the work they feel which is required at the field, or maybe like let's talk about shipping only itself. The work what they think might not be there. That might be their perspective. Coming on
Right.
to how we started, it's been 17 years. I guess as a woman, if I stay at wherever I am and I don't walk back or back off, I am merely as a woman itself clear up all the misunderstandings and whatever perception they have about a woman, whether they can do this or they cannot do this, or a particular kind of a job or particular kind of atmosphere. Those things are like your existence have to prove that merely by talking and trainings and kind of stuff you cannot. I can talk 10,000 things, but when I'm at the field, what I do is what is seen. So yeah, I
Right, right,
totally
Sune, I take your point, but shipping has historically been a male-dominated industry. We all know that, and nobody knows that more than you. I know you have a lot of stories, and but back in 1988, as far as 1988, a lot of maritime institutes opened their doors to female students. Since then, shipping is changing and transformation is underway. But shipping as its largest ship is taking a long time to move. So when do you think, how long will you think, Sunaya, will it take for the elephant to start dancing?
I guess the elephant has to be asked about it. It's a male-dominated world because the males have allowed like that. No, it's nobody has questioned their decision. Nobody has objected to it. That why? What is the reason? What are your apprehensions? And then how it should be. Likewise, I'm saying there is no definite rule that females wouldn't be taken. That kind of a rule
Sure.
was never there. So did anybody question it? That why are we not there? It's just not been selected, not getting selected. Even if you take about my admission at the time, if I would have not been selected, then I would have not been here. But was there somebody to question about it? Someone at the higher organization, or the government organization, that level, somebody has to question why the female is not there. And that is how this diversity thing, which is coming from last, as you said, mention about IMO talking about taking this particular year as a gender thing stuff.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
dedicated to the women
dedicated to
seafarers
women
last year.
diversity. Yeah, I mean the gender diversity, what they're talking about in the shipping fraternity, that is what was supposed to be required. And I guess women are doing very well. If the way you are saying, I do agree 1%, but that change has come up. Thankfully, that
Yes,
change has
yes,
come up,
and the change
and
has
that
come up,
is
and we are seeing
yeah,
every day that the change is happening and the transformation is in progress. And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what brings me to my next question, Shushmita. This, as we know now, and for people who are joining in late, so we as Indians proudly are the largest employers of women pilot in the world. So
Right.
why do you think this although the percentages are just about 12 to 13%, but it's a very encouraging fact. So do you think that India is waking up to the opportunities that are produced by the aviation, or why is it that India is actually on the top right now?
I think it's about the awareness. Like if you see on all Women's Day, you can see all the papers and media and the news everywhere. You can see that they actually show this news that the flight was led by all women pilots and women crew.
Mhm.
So I think media awareness, like I'm saying, people are more aware now, and that's why the number of women pilots is increasing. In fact, my company hired about 40 pilots on Women's Day last year, which is quite a number.
Yeah, that's it. That means SpiceJet. You're saying, yeah.
That's right.
Okay. So this question I want to ask to both of you, and first maybe Sunaya. Sunaya, do you think that in order to encourage women to conquer the seas and the high seas and the skies also, strategic policy level interventions by the government is required? Now, at present, let me tell you, the government of India and the Maritime Administration are doing a lot for women, and they have financial grants for women, and I don't want to go to the exact amounts, but it runs into a lakh per year, something like that. For women, they have not only financial grants, they have leeways in age also. I personally know associations like FOSMA is giving discounts to women for training courses. Then we have Maritime Union of India, then we have NUSI. They are all working together and they're wanting to promote, they're doing their bit. So I do know that the maritime associations and the administration are doing quite a bit to invite and encourage women. But do you think that other policy level decisions from the government are necessary to inspire more women to come out to sea, or how is this going to be? How do we require to, how do we increase the numbers?
Yeah, Shaukat, rightly, as I've been mentioning it probably at every place. Administration level, everyone is doing their bit of training, but that is not going to increase the number of females because you are making somebody eligible. But going onto the ship and getting into the companies and, uh, you know, mm, I mean, what exactly I mean is that in a company, what are their policies? If we are only talking about if we have to restrict ourselves towards the Indian company, then in the Indian flagships, the Merchant Shipping Act and government will be, responsible for it, and they would be having some or the other policies mentioned, and which is very, 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 very positive. We have our chief managing director of SCI as female herself, and I don't have to even question about what kind of decision she would be taking regarding bringing up the females in the fraternity. But at the same time, I have to accept this fact that a seafaring fraternity and the profession is not where you can just come for 5 years and 6 years and that is all. You are not going to reach up to your peak wherever it is. So one policy which I have been driving the change, which I've been always requesting and talking about it is that to for somebody to ship ashore, and the aviation when she have become an instructor, after completing her graduation or whatsoever required, she doesn't require a flight time to become up an instructor. Somewhere close to the same benefits should be given into the seafaring fraternity as well. Because if we are talking only about sea time, and the companies are not ready to put you on the ship, and the recession, don't have to talk about it. Everybody knows it's only not for the females; it is also for the males in the industry that the recession is there. You are not able to find the ships. You're not able to complete your sea time. There are so many things about agencies going around, frauds going around. So yeah, policies are there. If I would talk about India, once we start talking about foreign flagships and how was there it has to be seen, then it all depends upon the company's culture. It is all about company's culture. You will be eligible to get into the ship, but how are you supposed to get into the ship? These are the policy changes required at the company level. And if IMO has rightly got into one, that what are we doing about it? Is the feedback coming? Are they even talking about it? Okay, if you have made one kind of a policy, how is the feedback about it? So because of this policy, how many females have joined? Is there an accountability happening around? And that is how we can progress. One needs to talk and one needs to present it. Who is doing it? Where is the presentation? Okay, I might not be the part of it. I might not be so much knowing and having all those information probably because I'm at sea. But I feel so that that feedback thing is required, and it has to be a constructive one. It should not be seen as a complaint coming up. And if somebody works into a constructive manner, what we say is a constructive criticism, then that will definitely help. Yeah.
Right. Shushmita, what about you with the GGCA? Is there any policy level affiliations for women, or do they have some grants, or how do they inspire more and more women to come into the airlines industry?
I think we don't have any policies as such, but like Sunitha said, the government is doing their bit. But I think more than this, it's the society which has to understand and accept this. Like me, for one, when you told me that there's a captain from Merchant Navy, women captain. I like my family. I have my uncles, my dad, everyone has been in Merchant Navy, and I was not aware that we have a captain. We have a like there are captains in Merchant Navy, women captains. So that was a surprise for me. So like people are not aware about this. So I think, and if they're aware, they don't even accept it. For them, when I became a pilot, my aunts and family members, when my mom told them that she's a pilot, they were like, aerosters hogi. She can't be a pilot. I mean, pilots ladke hote hain. So this happens. I think it's more about the society's mindset and awareness.
Yeah, in fact, I was coming to that and took the words out of my mouth. In fact, there has been always been a conception or misconception that लड़की है तो air hostess है. So, is this intentionally built by the airlines, or because actually airlines air hostesses are all women? We don't hardly any, even less than
No, no,
1%
no,
are male
no.
air
No, no,
hostesses.
no. I think in SpiceJet, Go Air, in Air India, I think we have quite a number of guys also working as cabin crew. But I think it's just a general perception of people. I think they just
Hmm.
assume that ladki hai to cabin crew hogi. Because I think going by the number of pilots we have in India and globally, women
Hmm.
pilots are barely seen around at the airport. So maybe that's why they just assume.
So how? So there's a very humorous there's a joke which goes around. In fact, it's a joke. I was doing an event. In fact, Sunaya was part of that event, and we had Prahlad and Prahlad Kakkad, the famous advertisement guru, and he came up and said that he was in the airport once, and he saw a woman pilot just enter the cockpit, just walk through and enter to his plane, and he says 25% of the people didn't board the aircraft
Ah,
because it was a lady. So on the serious note, do you actually face such stigmas? Do you now? It came to me because you say female pilots are not seen. Is there
yeah.
are they not seen because of the fact that there will not be any passengers on the aircraft? Or what is the
No, no, no,
stigma?
no. No, no, I think he was just over
Yeah, of course, he
exaggerating
was
it,
just
I'm
joking.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
but
no,
what
no.
about the perception that I'm sure that you must have in your career faced some perceptions that that you are a woman and a young lady in the cockpit, and have you faced some challenges like that before?
And see, like I said, once you're in uniform, it doesn't matter whether you're a
Yeah.
girl or a boy. Like your gender
Yes.
doesn't really matter. But yeah, age, yes, I can say that there are. I've flown with my co-pilots who are almost twice my age or elder than me. So that sort of becomes a challenge. But then we have CRM courses like you have in Merchant Navy also. So then
Yes.
it's taken care of there. Like we try and keep a good CRM between us. So that's not a problem. And regarding the passengers, like you're saying, no, no. I think after our landing or just before our takeoff, a lot of women come inside the cockpit just to, you know, tell me that how proud they are to see a women pilot flying this aircraft, commanding the aircraft. So that feels good. I think now people are getting more and more aware about it.
That must be
So
feeling marvelous. In fact,
absolutely,
I would want to go back to Suneha at this point. Suneha, like we all agree that shipping is a male-dominated industry for whatever reason. Maybe there are because of the population, because of the man-woman ratio in India. There are much more men sailors than women. So knowing this throughout your life, so what and how were the career choices made by you? I mean, did you want to prove a point, or did you come in as because of the benefits of the industry, or how was the career choice made?
Shaukat, I had no clue about what Merchant Navy is, anything about. I've
Yeah,
never
so
seen a
that
ship.
that that is even
Yeah.
that's even asks, I want to ask you even more now, why would you want to join a industry for which you have very little knowledge?
Okay. So I always wanted to join Indian Navy,
Okay.
and I was preparing myself for the same, and I was very highly about NDA, NDA, NDA. And somewhere in my seventh, eighth standard, I figured out that NDA, there is a statement stating that the girls cannot apply for it. So then I'm like, okay, then how to go? Because I've seen defense officers, naval officers. So the procedure was being seen that you need to be a graduate. I was doing my graduation from NIT Bhopal Mechanical, and that is a purely graduation. There was no intention of becoming an engineer either. Now, while I was doing my 12th and 10 plus 2, I cleared my IIT screening, and there is one checkbox which is to be done of Merchant Navy. That is how the selections in TS Chanakya, etc. happened. At the same time, even SCI called us for the interview because we qualified for the screening. And while we were interviewed and been into the office during our induction time, the initial induction, that time we were told that we'll be the first girls. I mean, my dad was like, you are gone insane. This is a very insane kind of a profession, and you will not be having a social life. Little that I know what a social life, 10 plus 2 student who would know what a social life is all about. It was like something like, okay, nobody goes. Why? Let's go and see what is there not to be done. What is it that is not allowing? And when I actually, Shaukat, when I already knew from last 3, 4 years that Indian Navy were not taking female candidates. So this was the time when they have opened, I mean, a profession has opened the gate. And if that is a chance that I have, then I should take it. If not, see, what is the harm in trying it out? It might just not happen. failures is a part of a life, but what's the harm in trying
Absolutely.
it out?
So
Once you try
I
it.
can very well understand from where you're coming from. So because you wanted to go to sea
Yeah.
and you wanted to go be in the Navy, so that's from where you come out. But tell me, Suneha, and I'll come back to uh, Shushmita on this again later with the same question. Tell me, so it said the workplace is filled with barriers for women, right? Even in the aviation and even in any industry.
Mhm.
So what does it take to break the barriers? And you've reached the top, you've reached the pinnacle, the captain of a ship in it's a phrase like,
Yeah.
I have spoken to many people in the industry of filmmaking, and when they say the director is the captain of the ship. So it's a phrase actually which is so true in its even literal form. So you have reached a pinnacle now. So you must have developed a lot of these leadership skills throughout the years. But how do you break barriers, and what are the skill levels that you think the young girls and ladies coming in should have?
Shakat, frankly, there are many things. There are many things. That's not only one that you can point it out, but I would want to highlight one aspect of any part or any profession or even in your normal life. It is the positive attitude that you have to look into. There will
Hmm.
be 20,000 things people will come and say, and they will go. It should not affect your mind. You should be in the control of your own mind, of your own body, of your own work, what you're thinking, what you're seeing, what you're listening. There will be 20,000 things happening around. What you should accept and where you should put your energy, that how it matters. I am telling you, in these many years there might not be a single soul in my profession who would have said that I've taken the right decision. On that
Hmm.
matter, I would also tell you that once I was planning to leave my parent company and moving into a foreign company, which generally don't people don't do when they have to, when they will take up their command. At that point, when you are getting your command in your next contract or maybe next to next contract, and you are leaving and getting into a foreign company where you know already that you will be taking more time for taking up your command, still you
Hmm.
take up that decision, is because you know your hard work. You are very much positive about yourself that there is nothing which can stop me.
Hmm.
There is no, you are not scared of something. Now when you get into the society pressure or the parents pressure or the family pressure, and then शादी नहीं हो पाएगी या फिर मैं एग्जाम्स नहीं क्लियर कर पाऊंगा या फिर उसके बाद क्या होगा, and financial things, there are many aspects, there are many
Hmm.
many many things which is being fed into your mind. It is only up to you as a person, as an officer, as a woman, what is to be focused upon. Is it you
Hmm.
have to focus in the family, have you to focus in the finances, have you to focus into your own being or to the rank or to your profession or to your career? That is how you decide right at the first time. I was doing my engineering, I was doing perfectly fine. I knew I would have got my job after doing an MBA. That was an easygoing life. There was no doubts at all. But once I take up a decision to join up merchant navy, there is someone looking up to me. And frankly, I should put it right, very clear this, that they were the people who have been, feeling proud about my work. They were my support system throughout. Whenever
Hmm.
I felt low, I would feel, oh, what would they then think? Yeah, they have been looking up to me like, she was the one who could do this. And then no, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what
Right,
happens. So
right.
eventually
Sushmita,
it was.
so Sushmita, what are the barriers, and are there similar barriers? You face any other barriers which is unique in the aviation? Are there similar barriers to what women face in all the industries? And how do you go about? Because I'm sure you must be getting barriers at every level of your decision making. And like Suneha said, there are two levels of barriers: one at the home front, one at the professional. So how do you manage? How do you
I think
what does it take from you to break those barriers?
you have to be go-minded and you have to be headstrong. Like once you decide, you go ahead with that. Like for me, when I decided I want to be a pilot, my parents, especially my mom, was very supportive. Otherwise, had I actually listened to what my relatives had to say, then their opinion was, why are you putting in so much of money? Because the pilot's course is actually quite expensive. So they were like, "Itne mein to you can do a very lavish wedding for her. Like she can just do her engineering and then get her married. Like why spend 50 lakhs on her training or whatever." So then I had made up my mind. No, this is what I want to do. I want to become a pilot, and my mom was very supportive of it. So I went ahead with that, and you just have to be headstrong. I think you can't really listen to what others have to say, because if you're not happy with what you're doing, then you are either in a wrong place or you're doing it wrong. Either of the two. So just keep moving, keep going
Yes,
ahead, and then show
yes.
the world.
what about the perception of a woman in the cockpit and a woman on the bridge? For the others, outsiders who come in, I mean, I'm sure you deal with a lot of shore-based people, like even in shipping, when the ship goes to port, the show people, the pilots, the stewardess, everybody comes on board, and you've got to, as a captain, you've got to deal with them. Even for you, I think you're also having a license now very soon for cargo, so you deal with a lot of shore-based stuff. What is the perception that people have, professional people have for? Is the respect same, or do you have to actually prove or demand respect from them?
Actually, I think the people are very warm. Like when I land
Yeah.
at a new airport, or when the passengers come and they see us, they're pretty warm towards us. Okay, there are exceptions are always there. Like you were giving example of your friend Prahlad. So
Hmm.
exceptions are always there. People come and say offensive things at times because I think they go by the judgment of uh, women can't drive, right? I think they have that perception that she can't drive, maybe she can't fly, maybe. But of what I've seen, women they fly beautifully. I think they're better pilots because they like perfection. So they make sure that everything is done perfectly, and they're pretty calm also in the cockpit. So the atmosphere is very calm and soothing. So I think it's very nice to have a female companion in the cockpit, and that's why I think the number is also increasing. And company, and I think not just our company, other companies are also promoting this now.
Right. So Neha, what are the changes would you like to see for women in the shipping industry? And I know maybe you have many, but starting, I remember you were telling me something about uniforms. So, I mean, I personally didn't know that. So, what are the changes starting from ABCD? What are the changes would you like to see for women in our industry?
I would actually, I mean, uniform is something very, very, very last area where I will actually come on to. But one of the important things which I would definitely want is the accountability from the company side or the association sides. Association doesn't mean the administrative association. That what exactly are you doing to keep the women as once they are being
Accountability from the
eligible?
company side or the.
I'm sorry, I think,
Yes, no, no, no.
yeah.
Please go on. Yeah.
Okay. So what I meant is that, as you said, that the colleges are there who are, giving discounts, etc., etc., and you are eligible to join the ship. Once you are getting into the company, there might be few policies which the companies would have been provided by themselves to increase the number of women and get back the feedback from them that because of this policy, how many of them have admitted and how many of them have retained, and what were the reasons if the females have to leave as well. Those needs to be accounted for. We cannot be just talking somewhere in vain that I feel that that is my perception, that that is how somewhere you can bring up and talk about diversity, that there has to be a reason. Because see, Shaukat, what happens, the company which I have been promoted in, it's not that there were no females over there. Such an old company. It's an 130 years old company. Even if I we talk about the Indian companies, it's not that the females were not there, but how many of them actually reach up till the commanding position? How many of them? So it's not because the company doesn't want them to be. There is another reason which we are not looking into. There are other reasons that females are leaving, which has not been talked about, which has not been spoken about, which has not been accounted about. And that should be now one more step ahead into the whole process of that. What is exactly the reason? Not exactly, but what is one more reasons why the females have to leave and move away? And that should be a change. That should be one important change that I feel. uh, Uniform thing is one, it is a safety aspect actually, Shaukat, that if you are not having if you are having an ill-fitted uniform over there, it is an obstruction while you are working itself. And
Hmm.
I personally have faced it. I have seen it with my juniors. Now I belong to, I mean, after so many years I can go and get it tailor made. At times when you have to join the ship, it is not so much of time that you have, that you can go and get with a good uniform or even for your overalls. So this is one they can bring up with that, how to you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
use the
So you
uniform
had told me,
aspect. But
because I
yeah.
personally didn't know. I thought all uniform were tailor-made, but then after knowing, I went back again to the manufacturers. Actually, I just to ask them, and they said actually it is not that. I mean, they are not presently not making anything for measurements. In fact, we can give in a recommendation maybe, or an observation. So this can improve in the future.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
about Suneha? I think Sushmita. I think like we are talking about women and about team members, I'm getting the feeling from here, and I don't know why I'm getting, maybe talking to you both, that the aviation is much more at ease with women. That's because that is one of the reason maybe the women are more, or because you say everybody is so warm. What has been the reaction of shore-based people, Suneha, to a woman on board? Are they
Shaukat, it's the same. People, if you're meeting a third party, all same. They are really very
okay?
warm. We need to talk. We need to talk it. I mean, you need to understand it very clearly that nobody is having any personal agendas over here. They are coming for their work. We are going for our work. So nobody has any personal agendas to, show their dominance over someone. It's for them. It's a rank. And when you are presenting yourself with the confidence that you have, you are automatically creating the whole aura that okay, I'm the captain and you need to be talking to me in this way or that way. You cannot be demanding it for sure. But an atmosphere which has been presented by the onboard ship staffs is something which plays a very important role. But why I would want to answer that question of aviation having more opportunities, the reason could be because uh, in aviation, you are not expecting somebody to be at flying for like 6 months, no, and 4 months and 3 months.
Yeah.
You are getting back to land within few hours, maximum
Mhm.
18 hours, 24 hours,
Mhm.
and then you are back to your room. You are in your safe zone. You are talking to your family. That's not the case with seafaring. That exactly is not the case. You are the family that happens to build up on board the ship is something which
Yeah.
you need to make
Yeah, and this
because
is a very
every
important point that you're
yeah.
making, Suneha. And I was also thinking of this, that family structure maybe in for not only men or both for men and women in the merchant navy are maybe on compositely are much different because they have to think of longer terms.
Right.
Whereas in the aviation, maybe it's a very, very short term that they are flying, that they're coming back in the hotel stay, and then they're going back home. And so it's a, of course, they too have a very, very hectic schedule. Some of my friends are there in the as pilots also. So keeping in mind both the things that you've said, Suneha, how does, and we are talking only about women, and I know it's a cliched thing that in whenever we talk about diversity, these things obviously unfortunately come up, and especially you. I mean, you are unmarried, I know, but how does marriage have an effect on a girl's or a lady's career in the merchant navy? I mean, I just want to know on behalf of maybe a lot of people, companies who are looking for long-term employment. And I don't have the data and figures with me, but I want to know from you: is this sort of a deterrent to long-term employment, or would they want to come back and get married and it's a phase and they want to settle down, most of them, and not go back? How does this happen?
Right, Shaukat. So I will talk in both in terms of both their perspective, on perspective of women and also in perspective of organizations. Let's talk
Yeah.
about first about the organizations. Yes, it's a business thing, it's a commercial thing. You are not looking to settle somebody. If you want to settle someone, you can speak to their families and you settle her. Sure, there are other professions you can put them into. Why do you want to put somebody into a profession like this, which is demanding? Okay, it is a demanding profession. You cannot be expecting that a company would be taking care of you throughout the time, and when you want to leave them, you can just get up, okay, I'm getting married and I have to leave. No, that should not be the case. So that thing has to be gone inside their mind, whosoever is coming. Now here I'm not talking about a female, also about a male. It's
Hmm.
not that
Yeah.
only female
Hmm.
leaves after their marriage, it's also the
Yes,
male. So
yes,
with
yes, of
that
course.
question, which comes is whether why females are doing it, and this question is not coming up to men. They are not being questioned, but it is all about how well developed is your brain, is your mind, is your whole system for a marriage and for the profession. So if you are not ready for it, you take up your choice and move up. Okay, but that, yes, takes away one of the seats. Maybe
Hmm.
some other girl would have stayed.
Hmm.
She would have been much more headstrong to continue that profession and prove that her existence means something.
Hmm.
At the same time, I'm not saying that the female should not be getting married. They have to plan up their own the way the males are doing it. Similarly, the females are, and if they have taken up a choice of giving
Yeah.
up on their career, then the organization cannot be blamed about it. But it becomes a negative mark that I mean, you know it. I don't have to repeat. In every
Yes,
profession,
yes,
it will be like,
yes.
oh, she will go and take a maternity leave. Are you not talking the same to the males? Are they not going for a paternity leave or what? Are they not going? Let's not talk about paternity leave. 10 times they are going for their smoke break. Somebody questions them, no?
Yes.
No, nobody
Yeah, I
questions.
can.
The 3 times a female will go for a smoke break or she's smoking. What you have to do? The point is, are you giving a level platform for both of them? Then you just see the competence. You only go for the competence.
Yeah, and this is where I liked what Sushmita said, that the uniform has no gender. That once you are, so I take your point, Sunitha. It has to be both ways, the organization as well as the individuals. And I just mentioned this question because normally this question is brought up. I personally don't also believe, because we are living in a nuclear family where it becomes imperative nowadays for both the man and the woman to work professionally, to have a healthy lifestyle and have a good living in these kind of circumstances.
Yeah.
So we need to. It's up to the families to balance their lives, but again, I'm coming back. So this is where I think the most amount of stereotypical behavior from the family and from the society at large also. So this is a like stigmatized role maybe in the society where women are going out to shipping, or is it improving? Like you said, women can safely say that we are going out and spending our whole life there, or maybe from cadet to master, how much time does it take now? 20 years. So right, like I said, they have to plan their careers well in advance, right?
They have to. They should. A very simple example. We talk about a Bollywood actress. They also are getting into a field where they have to take up leave for their family or for their maternity, and then they're getting back to their profession in the perfect figure as they are required to be. Correct. There is no two way about it. So if you are medically fit, come back. Who's stopping you? Who exactly is stopping you? You want to give important point or time to your child, and nobody can force you to leave that and come back to see. But it should be your whole soul, your decision, and what are you looking ahead to? So there should not be any blaming going upon that. I was into, I took up a maternity and that's why I'm not being taken into an organization. If you are well worth, of course, anybody would take it. It is not about. I personally don't feel it that way. I have not faced it that way. I have not seen it. I would highlight, I'm not yet married. I might not be knowing about the realities of the families or the in-laws.
No, but let me tell you here, one, if you're not married, you definitely don't know the realities of getting married. Please don't even try to think of it. And I have all my friends here who are watching. Please, and I will give you one more piece of advice online, that if you can stay without getting married, that's the best life you can ever lead. So I think everybody in the world agrees to that. So there's no way to it. I have a surprise for Sushmita here. Okay. I have a surprise for Sushmita here. Sushmita, this is a surprise to you. I'm going to invite somebody now to speak. And because, and I don't think you know that he's here, but I'm going to invite Dr. Surinder Kumar.
Oh my God, lovely.
I'm going to invite Dr. Surinder Kumar. He's here on my special request. Gentlemen, Dr. Surinder Kumar happens to be the father of our lady pilot, Sushmita. And Dr. Surinder Kumar needs no introduction. He is one of the great trainers in our maritime industry. He was the principal of Sir Derek Beebe offshore, and now, of course, he's writing a book. He's done his PhD in offshore and in DP. So, Dr. Kumar, thank you for joining, and I thank you for taking my invitation and as a special request, because I wanted to hear it from a father's mouth, not from a from a person in the merchant navy, from a father's mouth, as to what happened when you came to know that your beautiful daughter wanted to join the aviation as a pilot. Dr. Kumar.
Thank you, Captain Sokat. Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to see these two young captains really reading their mind out. Thank you, everyone. Captain Sokat, I would like to just say a few words about her, because since beginning, since when she was born here in Mumbai at INHS Ashwini, that's Kolaba. So since those days, I can recollect, she has been a wonderful child. And when
she still is a wonderful daughter.
She was in Air Force School, Habal in Bangalore. And I was, of course, the odd man out. So I remember having gone to the class and inquired about her progress from the teacher. And I remember that gesture the teacher gave me. She hugged her in front of the whole class and she said, "I wish she was my daughter." I just, so I've been blessed by having her as my daughter. Thank
Wow.
God and thank you everyone. So that's wonderful to have you, and wish you success always.
Fantastic. Dr. Surinder, I have a little bit of things to ask you from a father's point of view. So, how does your family take it when you came to know that your daughter is going to go into the aviation? I mean, was there any kind of belief, or was there any kind of belief system, or was this only her decision? Because I know she's already told me many times that she really got a lot of family support. So do you think the family support is required like you gave to all the ladies who are coming? How did it happen?
Very much. I think the support is very much needed, and especially from the parents and in particular from the mother. I would recollect I was sailing those days. I was sailing for the Norwegian company called Gearbulk, and I was at home. And those days, the computer used to be only one at home. When I saw the computer, I could see some pictures of various aeroplanes. I don't know what was the what was the source of that. Then I asked her, and just to let you know that we were already preparing for her admission into engineering. Being an engineer myself, so I thought that's the profession she should be in, and later on probably can go for her MBA. But when I saw lots of pictures of aeroplane and all, and she says, "Yes, I'm interested." We looked around, and as I was sailing, I still had some money with me, and completely new to this profession, completely new to this career for her. But when she said yes, she's keen, I was happy to say, let's go. It was admission time going on, and when we went around, we saw there were a few institutes offering this kind of training. So finally, she could get through, and I was able to pay and get her admitted. But the real challenge started when it was time for finding a job. No jobs. So that was the time really to support her, because she was feeling, no, I will go back to college and I will start my studies afresh. I said, no, that's also a good option, no doubt about it. But once you are in this profession, hold on to it. I've been a teacher throughout my life, and I thought, why not you be a teacher? And she said, what teacher? So I said, you go into the aviation training field. We started looking for it, and finally we could find a job for her, and that's how our first job started as a trainer. So we supported her all this while, because the situation was tight and there were no jobs, and we knew no one in that industry. So it was all her hard work, and that's the support I would say we gave her, that yes, hold on and go for your job which you like. So
Fantastic, fantastic, Miss Dr. Kumar. We need more families like you, and we need more fathers like you, because this is one of the reasons I can see it will go momentous, will have an effect on more and more women coming into the merchant navy as well as the flying. So thank you very much for being with us. I'm sure it was a good surprise for Shushmita.
No, I had to rush because you pulled me, so I had to literally rush to reach here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye,
No. So this was we couldn't do this without you, right? I have another very big surprise, and also I would like to invite one of my favorite ladies. In fact, Renuka Nairji. And for everybody else, Renuka, again, she needs no introduction. Renuka Nairji is like a mother to the full shipping industry. Her husband, Timmy Nair, sir, is one of the senior most patrons now on the Merchant Navy. He sailed for more than, I think, 40 years or something, Renuka Nairji, if you're there. And Renuka Nairji's daughter-in-law is a pilot in the Indian Air Force, Air India, sorry, commercial Air India. So I thought she was one of the wonderful ladies who can tell us on both the worlds. I mean, having a husband as a Marine captain and having a daughter-in-law as a flying captain. So, Renuka ji, Mrs. Nair, if you're there, if you can unmute.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi.
It's such a pleasure to see these lovely ladies here doing so well in life, so confident, positive, and firm in the decisions. Wishing you all the best. Yes, my husband, he's a master captain out at sea. My son, he's a captain. I have brothers who are also out at sea. And my daughter-in-law, of course, now she's a pilot with Air India. And I feel very, very proud of her, you know. When I see her in the uniform, it's a lovely feeling. As a mother-in-law, I get it, because I've seen my guys, in uniform, and now her. Yes,
So,
different
so
because, yes,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
yes,
please.
Chocolate.
No, I wanted to ask you that, what would have happened, and I'm just asking you as a mother-in-law, what would have happened if your daughter-in-law was not a airline pilot but a mariner? Would that change
Oh,
any of
I would
your?
have encouraged her. I would
Yeah,
have
I
encouraged
know
her
you
to
would have,
go out
yes,
to sea. Yes, yes. Because I
definitely.
still love to sail, though my husband is retired, but my heart is still out at sea. I would love to sail.
No, so
If
you
given
have
a
more sea
chance,
time.
we,
You have more sea time than many chief officers I know. Anyway, so
yes, I've sailed for 33 years.
my God.
I, yeah,
So you tell me, Mrs. Nair. So when you were sailing all these while, you must have, and I know that you are in touch with so many ladies
yes,
of the Merchant
yes,
Navy, the women and the
yes.
wives, the spouse, and so are you in touch with lady seafarers also? Do they call you?
Uh, yeah, I'm in touch only with 2, 3 ladies who
Hmm,
are sailing. One is
hmm.
Ragini Nair. I think you must be knowing her. She's a part of our MAPS program
Yes,
also,
yes, yes,
helping us out. Yes,
yes,
that's an
yes.
awareness program we have started.
I know that.
And
Yeah.
Captain Sabyasachi is here, right here.
Yes, I will call him for
So,
a. I will call him for a short while on here. I know
yeah,
I have invited him in. He's here. Thanks
yeah,
for. Yes.
yes,
So
yes.
you do you talk to these women sailors, and do they have any kind of issues that they want to discuss with you? I mean, not the personal ones, of course, but any kind of gender related
Yeah.
issues that you face that
Yes,
predominantly in our
sometimes,
industry.
yes. Yes, sometimes they do face a lot of problem because they have to listen to things like, "Arey, ye to ladki hai, ye kya karegi?" If they are on the deck. I'm
Hmm.
sure like she's as strong and as efficient as a man. And if
Yes.
she makes up her mind, she'll do it.
So
So that's all I tell
Sushmita, do
them. Be
you?
positive and be,
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
yes. Sushmita, do you also get things like this? कि लड़की है तो flight कैसे चलाएगी? Things like
No,
this?
actually, I to tell them very clearly, don't go by my looks. I may look tiny and sweet, but there is only one good kind of flight, that is me. So maybe you can do this on the next flight with some other captain. Not, it's not happening here, boss. My aircraft, and I am the captain or pirate or whatever you want to call it. So no messing around here. So, and
Exactly.
I think you just have to be the boss there, and everybody knows that. So actually, nobody would dare to do that. At
Yeah,
least
yeah,
on
yeah,
my
yeah.
face, there, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Hajra, sir, thanks for taking my invitation and joining here. Mr. Hajra was, let me give a small description to Sushmita also. Mr. Hajra is one of the most celebrated men in our industry. He is the recipient of the Varuna Award, and Varuna Award is the highest award that can happen in the shipping industry. It's almost equivalent to Bharat Ratna in shipping.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mr. Hajra was employed for more than 40 years, I think, in Shipping Corporation as the managing director and chairman of Shipping Corporation of India. And he, of course, he's retired, but he's still so active, and
lovely.
he's a mentor for tiny people and tiny bits and people like me. And I keep on asking him, and sometimes going back. And so he's here, and he's the epitome, and I think nobody will be able to say better things about I mean better than him, right? Because he's been SCI, he's handled so many women Navy sailors. Sir, could you tell me when SCI started recruiting women sailors, and what is the condition? Because I remember you told me about 1 year back in a seminar which we were attending, and you told me, Shaukat, this is 2% in the world and 1% in India. But let me tell you, sir, it is 1.2% now. So we have gone up to 2.2% from since we met. So, sir, are you there?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, Shaukat, for inviting me. First and foremost, my heartiest congratulations to both the lovely ladies for breaking the glass
Thank you
ceilings.
so
I
much.
really hope that many more girls get inspired by them, because I genuinely believe that diversity, and of course, gender diversity is one of the significant part of any kind of diversity. Diversity is good for any industry. It's good for the economy. It's good for the society, and it's good for the nation. So I am sure that more and more ladies participating in shipping and maritime will definitely benefit the industry going forward. I am very, very proud that Shipping Corporation of India has always, supported the women seafarers. We were the first shipping company really. And of course, you all know about Captain Radhika and others. And I believe Suneha also was very much from SCI. I was very, very happy to hear that. So definitely Shipping Corporation of India has done much more than any other shipping company in India for the women seafarers. Of course, it has done for seafarers per se. I always say that while Scindia may be the pioneering Indian shipping company, but what SCI has done for Indian seafaring is possibly 100 times more than any other Indian shipping company that you can think of. So anyway, I'm very proud of that. And as far as as far as even Vista is concerned, of course, I know there are more than one. Vista is there, ISW is there. So Vista, of course, was fortunately founded in Shipping Corporation of India and Shipping House. When I
Oh, is that
was,
so?
yeah, when I was the chairman, Sanjam came and approached me. So I said it will be my pleasure and privilege to have the Vista, Vista India installed in the SCI auditorium. And definitely that was the start of Vista. Sanjam always acknowledges that. I'm very, very happy for that. I'm very proud of Sanjam, whatever she has also achieved. So I really wish the women all the very best in shipping. But I do believe that, as Suneha was saying, that the industry must do lot of, facilitation for the women seafarers. I mean, I don't know why people have so much of, hesitation about maternity leave and other matters. Because after all, if you want to have women participating in shipping, and after all, women are nearly 50% of the total population. So if you leave aside 50% of the population, then how can you really think of the progress for the industry as such? So
Absolutely.
if you want to encourage women, then you have to facilitate them in many ways. Like in SCI, we always had a policy that at least at the cadet level, we'll have minimum 2 women cadets sailing together. Because initially, particularly when they come on board, I'm sure Suneha will vouch for that. There are, definitely are certain barriers, certain, mental barriers and other barriers. So if you have a lady, a girl also sailing with you as, and giving you company, is definitely very nice. So I think we have always followed that policy. Of course, once you get promoted, you can't expect always to have 2 lady officers sailing together. Of course, we are very proud that there have now been, just like in the aviation, even in shipping, there have been ships also run fully by complements who are all ladies. And in India, while I know the percentage is very low, but we also have achieved certain things which I think virtually no other country in the world can boast of. Like, I think, to the best of my knowledge, only in India, we have a lady Director General of Shipping succeeding another lady Director General of Shipping. So this is something quite unique. Then we have had, Chairman of the Port, lady Chairman of the Port. We have, lady CMD, Sumati Moraji herself was, of course, she ran Scindia as the pioneering Indian shipping company. So we have lady at the helm of affairs of many very important maritime institutions. And I only hope now, even now Malini is the Vice Chancellor. She was earlier the chairperson of the NSB, National Shipping Board. So I only hope that ladies come up more and more in senior position, because that will then encourage and inspire other girls to really join this profession. And for the maritime and logistics profession, if more ladies really come in, that will be a wonderful thing.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your words. And of course, with your words, each and every sentence that you're saying, it's got so much depth and so much of work that you must have done behind those sentences. I can very well imagine.
Sorry to interrupt you, Shokat,
Yes.
but I must also thank Mrs. Nair for mentioning maps. MAPS, of course, I was the founding chairman for quite some
Yes.
time. I was there.
Yes.
Now, of course, I'm very much a member. I'm not the chairman anymore. So I'm very thankful for, thankful to her for mentioning MAPS.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I would like to also call upon Captain Basin. Captain Basin is here. I saw him, but now I can't see him. Maybe he's gone off for some work. But if he's here, sir, can you just say, because Captain Basin is the MD of MSC, and MSC is one of the largest cruise line companies in the world. And he is, of course, handling a lot of maybe ladies going on board the cruise liners. Sir, if you are here, if you can just say a few words on women in shipping and in the cruise line industry.
Thank you, Captain Shokat. You just
Wow.
gave me a shocker.
Wow, great to see you,
without
sir.
warning. I've been on the line and been listening to Captain Sunitha and Captain Sushmita. Really hats off. But before I proceed, I would really like to give my regards to Dr. Surinder. We knew him for so long. We have been interacting, but I never knew that he's keeping the gem at home, hidden.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Hats off to these, both these ladies. Hats off. And when you were listening in the start, Sunitha spoke about her, then Sushmita spoke about her. There were so many similarities.
Yes,
so many
yes.
similarities as the ladies when they go through any path or any career, the problem they face. It was very heartening to note how they have conquered that, how they have come out of that, and stood with their line, what they wanted to do in their life. That was really very, very good to hear about it. And there's, I also like the word Mr. Haja said, they have broken the glass ceiling. They truly have. Haja sir, how are you, sir?
Yeah. No, firstly, heartiest congratulations, Mahendra, for the award you are going to receive from the Nautical Institute, you and MSC. Heartiest congratulations.
Yes,
sir,
sir. Heartiest congratulations. We saw that, and nobody deserves it more than you, sir.
No. Let's come back. Today is the Ladies' Day.
Yes.
Let's come back. Let's come back.
I will, sir. I was like what I'm asking you, sir. Do you recruit women for these school licensors from India, sir?
Plenty of them. And we have a large pool of lady seafarers. Unfortunately, for the last 2 months, all our cruises are shut.
Yes.
I have brought back about 2,300 crew members back home in India. That is only from India, I'm saying. Nepal is different. Other countries are different. So presently, we are in a bit of a lull. We are planning to start one cruise vessel sometime in end August in Italy. We have shortlisted some people, and there are about 14 lady seafarers also there. So we are all kept standby. We had a fantastic relationship with the Italian embassy in Bombay. They have issued their visas. Everything is all set. 24th, 25th of August, we are planning, if we get a permission from Italian government, to run a ship. So then about 114 seafarers will be flying on a chartered flight.
Wow.
We have tied up with ATPI, and we're just starting a vessel. But to start fully the cruise, it will take long time.
Yes.
It will take very long time.
Yes. So, Sushmita, are you also flying these chartered flights that are going on for sailors now?
Yes, sir. I did.
Oh, wow. So this
We have been using actually SpiceJet, Indigo, both the airlines we have been using for the charter flights. Basically to Doha, India, either from Mumbai to Doha.
I flew them to Dammam, sir. Recently.
Dammam also, excellent. So, and we have done the charter flight mainly to bring the people back from Brazil, from Rome, from South Africa. So that is a different thing altogether.
Right.
But coming back to the ladies, I mean, really very, very happy to hear them. And also, Sunitha, I was very happy to know about your mom. That she has also got a presidential medal. Some of the things we don't even know. We worked with Sunitha in the CMMI, but we don't know.
She's in fact, her house, like I said, is a house filled with presidential medals. Mother has got, she has got. I mean, I don't know who's next, because hum log to zamana nikal jata hai, not even to think of a presidential medal, and she has 2 in the house. So fantastic. In fact, we also have Sonali here, and Sonali is a great friend of mine, and Sonali was the first ever chief engineer of India, lady chief engineer. on board the ship. Sonali, are you there? Sonali, I thought I saw Sonali here, and I don't know whether maybe she has left. But if you're there, Sonali, if you can say a few words. I know you've also had a lot of experiences out at sea. A leader, and she's presently working in the Indian Registrar of Shipping. Sonali, you there?
Sonali was very much there. I also saw her.
I also saw her. Anyway, and Mr. Wankade, I would want to also call him for a few words. Mr. Wankade was the additional Director General of Shipping and Training Department, Deputy Director General of Shipping, and he's just been transferred to, of course, he's now in the MMD, but he's done a huge amount of work in the e-governance, and he was also involved in a lot of dealings with lady seafarers going on board. Sir, Mr. Wankade, you're there, sir? I think he has also left. So what I'll do is, I've been getting a steady stream of comments on YouTube, and I will just read out these comments to you. So we have Captain Rajesh Agarwal. He's writing. Captain Rajesh Agarwal says, we have planned an around the world luxury cruise ship fully operated by women only. So Captain Agarwal, thank you so much for this. This is great news. Somebody says, Shailing Shayad, good evening, Sunitha ma'am. So he says, Sunitha ma'am has inspired many sailors. Then proud of you, Sunitha, and proud of these two ladies. Then good companies to work. Yeah, she has worked in the best companies. Then definitely I'll encourage. Then somebody says, Sri Chaitanya Vidyalaya says, definitely I'll encourage my daughter to opt for the same job. I'm proud of these ladies. They have inspired us as a mother of daughters. Fantastic. Then very well done, Sunitha. Very well done, Shushmita. Then good evening. This is Captain PKC from FMIRO, Kolkata. Proud to see you after a long time. Then Vivek Bhandarkar was Captain Bhandarkar was here. Apprenticeship to seafarer in government training institutes or shipping management companies. Those who don't get shipped due to any reason. Then so proud to see woman captain in the male-dominated industry. They are true inspiration with maritime industry and the aviation industry. Perception is changing in every stream. Fight is make it to prove it, and the world is all ours. A lot of change has happened and a lot are underway. Thank you, ladies. Then, hi, Simi, proud of you. Keep flying high. Then, best of luck to Captain Sunitha and Captain Sumi. Best of luck. Proud of you, proud of you, proud of you, proud of you. So much. Fantastic, ladies. And Sunitha, so proud of you. Bina Shah says. Then, Saleha is also, Saleha is the chairperson of the Maritime Union of India Women's Wing. And she says, Captain Sunitha and Captain Simi, you make us so proud with your dynamism. Then super proud, Sunitha, your speech is so inspiring, ma'am. Aarti Mani. Then Surajit Bose is my batchmate, says, salute to both the exceptional ladies. It's wonderful hearing you captains. All the best. Then all the best, both the captains. You're making all the women in the world proud. Right? Proud of you. Then proud of you, ladies. You are making all women so proud. Mr. Hajra, Monica Damania is saying Mr. Hajra is an icon in shipping who's always supported women. He always inspires women. And he inspires men also. Yeah, I'm greatly inspired also with him. So not only women. Okay, amazing webinar. It's too good to hear and get inspired by success stories of the ladies who really dared to make a difference and make a niche for themselves. Saleh again says, great going, Captain Basin. Happy to know that MSC is a strong supporter and recruiter for women seafarers. And Sunitha ji and Chief Engineer Sonali ji is part of our exclusive mission. Wow. So thank you. In fact, I did my master's in virtual learning just now during the lockdown. And I'm going to teach you something. So in virtually, when you clap, you have got to do like this. You can't clap like this. You got to do like this. Yeah. So this is how you clap. Virtually, I literally learned this, if you have a group and you're. So I think this has been a great session, just about 1 hour and short and crisp session. And if there are any questions, I would like to throw this to the audience. If anybody wants to ask any questions, you can just put it in the chat window, and I'm going to take it with the wonderful ladies here. Any questions regarding aviation? Any questions regarding maritime? Just about 10 to 15 minutes, we can do a question answer session. In fact, Simi, I was going through an article yesterday, which it was written by a superintendent, and it says that article, the heading of the article was, "Is the sky pink?" So, is the sky pink or is the sky blue? So and it was about women pilots, you know, and the article said that women pilots do bring in a lot of dynamism in the cockpit, and a lot of passengers love to see women pilot in the cockpit, you know, flying their planes. So
Yes.
so has anybody come up to you and said this, any passenger, or you get the other kind of emotions?
No. I've got such lovely notes from passengers, from kids, from lady passengers, from people my dad's age. I've got some lovely notes. They put some craft on it, some radiums and sparkle and everything, that we're so proud of what you do and thank you for this flight. And there have been instances that, like last monsoon when I was flying, the flight was very turbulent. And after landing, somebody posted on Twitter, he was from, I think, some news channel. So the people keep complimenting, and I think they're proud that when they see that women pilot is leading, and people are actually proud of this. I think things are changing now. It's taking time, slowly, but yes, I can see an improvement there.
Right. Simi, I have one question, one last question for you, maybe one more, and just then we'll wind up. This thing came into my mind when you talked about CRM. And, you know, in the Merchant Navy, what happens is when we go on board, we spend a lot of time with the officers on board, like, for example, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So you get to build your own team, and then you're with the team for a certain amount of time, and then you're a leader, and then you get to know your team. But here, you're talking about CRM. You are a pilot. You don't get to sail with the second in command every day. It changes, right? So there's some kind of So there's some kind of teamwork which you have to do instantaneously. If it works, it doesn't work. How is it possible?
So we start with small talk. Hi, how are you? Did you rest well? Okay, wait, and then, you know, where do you live? How long did it take you to get to the airport and stuff like that? And then how much experience do you have, been in the same company, whatever. Basically, we start with a small talk, and then we talk about the destination, like how prepared are we for the flight, like have you gone through all the regulations or check the weather about from for departure and destination. So somehow you get to know, and then, you know, like when I ask them, what sector do you want to do, do you wish to do the first sector or the next sector, and then you see how they're flying, and then you give your inputs, they give their inputs, so you somehow manage it's actually very easy. It just comes to you.
I know. No, it's easy because maybe you have developed that trait. It's definitely not easy to get to know somebody in 5 minutes. You need a checklist for that.
Absolutely.
You know, where do you live, where do you stay, how many children do you have, what is your age, have you ever sailed with a woman pilot before? So, but then definitely as a captain, maybe you've developed that skill over time.
Yeah,
because I find it sometimes it can be go the other way also. If you don't know somebody, and if you're working with them, and he's the only man you have or woman you have in the cockpit, so you get to sail with women also, right? As not sail,
Right.
sorry. I
Fly.
keep on using the word sail. So you get to fly with women also as co-pilots?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So there is a risk of you not knowing each other so well, right? And
Absolutely.
in terms of emergencies, so I mean,
I don't know most of them personally. So
yeah.
So that's the thing. When I meet them at the office and when we're doing a paperwork, so you have to know that, you know, in case of any emergency, you need this person as your help. So like once this happened that we were in dispatch, we call it dispatch, the office, and this first officer of mine comes up to me and he's like, he looks at me and he's like, so Captain, how many weeks or months into command? And okay. And I was like, okay. And I started calculating like on my fingers just to show him that, you know, okay, I also played along. And then I told him approximately 36 months, 36, 37 months. So then he got a shock. Oh, that means 3 years. So then he tried to cover it up and say that, oh, that means like, how old are you? You don't look so young. I mean, you look so young. You don't look that old, this, that. So I actually got a little pissed, but I didn't want to, you know, spoil the CRM in the beginning of the day. Like we had a long day ahead. We had 4 sectors to go, and it was monsoon season, so extra work anyway. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind that you need this person as a help. So, you know, just let it go.
Right. And Sunaya, what about you? I mean, you must be coming across some senior people on board who maybe have mindsets, who maybe I mean, fortunate or unfortunate, whatever you may be having to handle a lot of mindsets on board with senior people.
Shaukat, just to interrupt for a second,
Yes, sir.
you were
Yes, sir.
inviting Sonali. I found in the chat Sonali has joined back. So in case you
Oh,
want, I just
yes.
thought I would let you.
Yes. I will come back to her after this question. Definitely, if she's back, then I'm not going to let her escape right this time. So I'm going to, yeah. Yes,
Right.
Sunaya.
So mindset of people joining, I have never tried doing it. I have never emphasized them if they have not been. Of course, I know it myself. If I, as a female captain, have not sailed with any other female chief mate or a second mate or even a third mate or a cadet, what my colleagues would have sailed with. So it's a very, very, very rare thing that they would have gone through. I might be sailing with 23 odd men from last 16, 17 years, but it could be for them, it's the first time that they're sailing with a female officer.
Yeah.
So the first and foremost thing which I have to highlight anytime when I land up is that I am not a female. I'm the captain. That is all. That is exactly all.
Yeah, the uniform has no gender. Yeah.
That is all. So if you have any problem in my decision making, you have got the policies, you feel she's not the right one, please carry on and take up everything as whatever is required as per company norms and procedures. You feel I am not the competent enough or whatsoever. You are free to talk, you are free to take it up and kind of stuff. And that kind of things you don't talk. As she's talking about Sushmita, Captain Sushmita is talking about CRM. You don't really go and tell them, but your obvious behavior and your attitude when you're talking and the confidence when you show, or the words, the choice of words that you use to let them know that, okay, you are whoever you are, I am whoever I am, I'm here for my job, you are there for your job, complete up your job and get back to your room, and that is all.
Yeah,
so,
and I remember you telling me some tips, before when we were having discussion. I'll come back to your tips and of do's and don'ts for the young ladies who will be taking this up as a career. Maybe we can devise a course for this. Maybe maybe later, maybe an STCW, non-STCW course. So some little bit do's and don'ts of what you felt throughout your experience. So Nali, don't run away, please, and. We want to hear from you, and of course you must be having a lot of stories of yourself also. So Sonali, a little bit on the challenges, how you've broken your barriers when you were out at sea. In fact, you were senior, I think you were before, so the mindsets would have been stronger at that time because each day it is growing and it's changing and it's transforming. Sonali?
Yeah, Shaukat, I can hear you.
Yeah. So how about you telling us, when we went out to sea, were there any preconceived notions, any barriers, anything related to any stereotypical roles of women in uniform in maritime?
Yeah, honestly, like when I joined, there were practically no other women around.
Yeah,
that is what I could say. I mean,
you were the
be
first
it at the
engineer,
coastal
yes.
level or at the national level or whatever. So people didn't know what to expect. Basically, it was like an experiment was being conducted, and let us see what she does, how far she goes. And of course, mindset has always been a challenge in maritime profession, that I would definitely say. So it has always been a long and I mean, I think more than the job itself, it's fighting these mental blockades and challenges are more challenging than what I would say the work-wise it would be.
Yeah. So you think some women need some basic skills which needs to be developed to lead them into this, against this barriers?
No, I think it will happen with more numbers of women joining into the maritime career.
Yeah, and that is
Because
unanimous, yes.
you see, as we have more women in the, say, medical fraternity or say in the IT sector or in the banking, initially they might have been one lady or two ladies, then things are very different. Everybody's watching out for you. It's like every breath you take, every move you make, everybody's watching you. So, things are very different. And but I think more
Or maybe
numbers
they
of
are
women.
watching you to watch whether you are watching them. It's the other way around, maybe.
Well, I really can't. Um,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
I
too many
think,
things, yeah. But then
yeah,
with more number of women joining in, I think this kind of mental block, it will tend to fade out. And I mean, that's the only thing I can see. But till that time, I mean, we have come a long way, but there is still a long way to go. But it is going to be good. Once we have more number of women, things are likely to change.
yes, and this is universal. I think as Sunaya also says the same thing. A lot of women have spoken. In fact, Sushmita, thanks. Dr. Kumar just reminded me that we have a Helm course which is taken from your aviation industry, the human element and the leadership management course. In fact, he says you were the first. You were the first. You were in the first course which was approved by MCA UK
Right.
for our shipping. You
I
had
had
participated
attended
in
it.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This is one course which we have taken. This is one above the CRM. This is one course which the maritime industry has taken from the aviation
Aviation.
industry. Yes, I was also a part of this course as a visiting lecturer for leadership, but very briefly. But I do know, and it's a very, very nice course. It's a very nice course, and it's a simulator based. It's a combination of simulator and theory and practical training.
Right.
And so you have taken that course, right? Also.
I've taken that course, yeah.
Yes. So Sunaya, coming back to you, and a little bit of very, very fast do's and don'ts maybe for women or ladies. I mean, I don't want to again stereotypically say that only women should do this. Maybe men also, but then like we were talking casually the other day, and I really liked some of the points that you said. And if these small things and can come in the way of relationships, maybe, or to avoid conflicts on board.
Yes, Shaukat, very rightly said. Do's and don'ts. I am not supposed to be quoted because it's not for any female or any male. This is
No,
for the
yeah,
whole industry.
absolutely.
Maritime fraternity, maritime industry, sailors is not a very easy job. It's a very, very demanding, not only physically but also mentally. We are talking about that stigma which is there. Initially, it was for the guys, they are not getting married. I mean, they're not getting girls for their marriage. So there might be a reason. There might be a reason why it any which ways it was there. Why it was there, they better know it. I have not faced the same thing. So when I say do's and don'ts, I don't mean it. You have to do it the way I am telling you. It has been
Yeah.
it has been my thought process. It is my personal views. Everybody has got their own struggle. One most important thing for any seafarer, no gender over here, for any seafarer, if you have not made up your mind, please don't come into this profession. It is not for everyone. It's not been a very nobody has been so much vocal about this profession. Hardly there are people who talk about it. They don't even know what a merchant navy is all about, from where all the fuel is coming, or the daily household things which are coming, even in this kind of pandemic which we have been through, which we are actually going about. I don't think so anybody is knowing about what sailors are and how is it getting affected. The other day I was being told that post about your pictures and your lockdown. I'm like, lockdown? What pictures? It's the normal job which is going around. I'm going to the port, taking up the ship and meeting the people. And it is another threat for us that we don't even know if something happens where we are supposed to move, because there is no hospital and there is no doctor. You have the support, the company support which comes is the most important at that time. And I'm really very happy being into a company which have been very so much, with communications have been clear. So yeah, the one most important thing, if you are not mentally prepared to be staying away from your family for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, please don't come here. Don't come. There are other professions. Go and join. Nobody is going to stop it. But coming here and putting yourself in danger, it is a danger. Nobody realizes it, but it is a danger. The kind of work that you go through, you are with 23 different people. You don't know in whose mind what is going on. And if just because of somebody else's mistake, the whole team has to suffer. There could be an accident, which again, nobody is talking about so much because people don't know what the profession is all about, right? You are expecting that somebody is ill home and you can just go there and making up a chaos on board the ship that I have to reach. No, it is not the case. It is just not the case. For the little ones, the younger generation, the females who are coming up, also the male cadets, but I will highlight over here for the females. Don't take everything personally. Do not take anything personally, whosoever is sailing. Your gender has to do nothing with it. Whatever comes, मुझको बताया गया था बचपन से ही कि I mean बचपन as in my seafaring बचपन when I was a cadet. एक कान से सुनो and दूसरे कान से निकाल दो. That is what the 2 years for. Just do that. If you are doing your job right, there is nobody who can question you at all. So just keep on focusing on your job. Yes, if you get into some kind of a trouble, because you know how it happens is there are seniors in the industry. I'm not in the industry. On board the ship, there will be seniors who would come and feed you things for their own personal agendas, and you would not be able to realize that. So the one clear aspect is you cannot be how do I say, you cannot be rude to them, but at the same time, do let them know. Learn to say that word no. It's a very highly attitude word, no. The moment you say no, I'm not liking it, somebody there would stop speaking to you in that particular manner. And if he does not, then there is a process ahead which you have to move. Shaukat, you were talking to me about that. How is that the harassment thing? I want to tell everyone, 17 years at sea, and I will not talk anything about sexual harassment because I've not been a part of any incident like that. No, we have been very safe. There are policies, there are people, and everybody is worried about their job. So harassment have never been there. I have not been a part of it, if at all in any kind of place which comes up, not only in aviation or in shipping, in any kind of profession. You have to speak about it. You cannot just keep it to yourself, because that is not a solution to anything. That is not a solution. And these kind of things are not being taught in any of the courses there. That is one most negative part of it, that it
unfortunately,
is not being taught. It has not been spoken, it has not been talked about. They feel that nothing is gonna ever happen. Also, I would highlight over here, like the females or the males who are being going into defense, they are being trained in a particular manner. Once they are getting selected, then they are being put through their training into the hardship, so that whenever they go through that kind of a circumstance, they will be able to handle it. That kind of thing is not there in seafaring at all. No, you are not there away from your parents, and you don't really know whom to approach. And as you say that for 2-3 months you are dealing with the same kind of people around, and that face who is looking onto it with no grudge. For how long one person can take it? Those needs to be into as a part of training that have to come up, and that relates to all. I mean, the males and the females, the cadets which are coming up. And unfortunately, I mean, I don't know if the 3 years course right now is talking about all these things, the HR part of it, but it should be included. A portion of that kind of thing should be included, not like verbal. It has to be put them into a room and
practical.
Talk to them in such,
maybe role plays, you know.
You have to talk to them in such manner, in that high voice, in that high pitch. Just by saying you will be going through a captain who might be very rude to you is not going to solve the purpose. It's not going to solve any purpose. You
absolutely agree.
Manner, and then you see how they react, because I'm not talking about females here. Even the male cadet would start crying. You don't know what they are going to do, and keep on weeping when they go back to your cabin, and whom should they go and speak to. So those kind of challenges are there, which I don't think anybody started yet speaking about. So
yes, Simi, you have faced any students maybe who you have mentored, or maybe any final tips for students, on any ladies coming up, leadership things, mentorship. Sonali says that we need strong need for mentorship. Yes, but any words, any do's and don'ts for for breaking the barriers for women especially?
I think just be headstrong, and like Suneha rightly said, ek kaan se suno, dusre kaan se nikal do. Listen to what everyone is saying, and then do what suits you the best, because everyone has their own opinion about things. But you are the best judge at that present scenario. You know what is best for you and what suits you the best. So take your decision accordingly, and just be headstrong. If you've decided you want this, just go ahead with it. Nothing should stop you then, because this is a male-dominated industry, and you have to, if you want to prove your point, then you have to be headstrong.
Right. So, fantastic. So there are certain things which have really come out in this discussion. Fantastic discussion. I think all of us have believed and agreed that we need numbers to increase in our industry. And like you said, when numbers increase, automatically things will start in focus. Of course, like Sonali says, when she went to the industry, there were hardly any women around. So nobody knows. Even the women don't know how to behave in that industry. So it's looking at from each other's perspective. So as the numbers increase, I think the industry will also acclimatize, the industry will also improve, the standardize, or maybe transform, which is a good sign that the industry has already started transforming. A lot of good culture is coming in way of policies being implemented about women's security, about women and men, like you rightly said, Sunitha. Not only about women, it's also about men. Each and everything, even the harassment that you talk about, why are we stereotypically saying this for only women? It can be also for men, right? So but kudos to you ladies, both of you are, like I said, on the pinnacle. And what a lovely experience it was to for you to for us to just ask you questions and get your mindset, thoughts. There are too many issues to be discussing in the one and a half hours, but as a whole, we just wanted to have an eclipse of both the industries together. But there are a lot of similarities, and I think somebody mentioned, Renukaji or somebody, or Mr. Hajra, I think, mentioned that both of you sound so much alike in the way you work, and in the way the industry operates, maybe. And it's great to know that in the aviation, it's such a warm welcome that you get. Even Sunitha says that it's actually no problem. But again, one thing I have known through this discussion, that it is very important to have personal skills also. It's very important to be headstrong, and being headstrong itself is not everybody is headstrong, not everybody is trained to be headstrong. So being headstrong. So I really hope that all of the ladies and all of the trainees and all of the new people who are joining learn how to be headstrong. And for this, maybe again the same thing of mentorship comes, and they develop these skills. So it's just great. Somebody's writing here, the confidence and leadership is contagious to inspire many more young ladies into profession dominated by males. Wish one day will fly on a plane commanded by Captain Sushmita to join the ship commanded by Captain Sunitha. All the best, and make your country proud. I mean, this is a really good thing to end this. So people are wishing that they fly on your flight to join the ship.
That would be lovely.
That would be lovely. So I can't thank you enough. I want to thank you first, both of you, and Sunitha and Sushmita. Thanks for your time. I know it's a hectic time for Sushmita also. To keep on flying, and in between flights you did talk to us the 2 days, and then you're here. Renukaji, thank you very much. You've always been, like I said, a mother to everybody. And
thanks for inviting me.
No, always. Thanks for your inputs. And next time, definitely, like I said, I was not aware of your daughter-in-law, but next time we will have your daughter-in-law also in the discussion.
It will be a pleasure. It will be a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Hajra. Thank you,
most
sir,
most welcome, Shaukat,
for putting in your views. And it's always such a huge, such a nice thing to hear. Like I said, each one of your sentences has an experience attached to it. Thank you, Captain Basin, sir. There's nothing more to say on your contribution to the maritime industry. Any award is less, and you deserve much more than the highest award that the shipping industry can give. So, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and thanks to all those who have taken part, and thanks to all those who participated, spent their time. I saw Captain Halbe also. Captain Halbe is still there. Captain Halbe is there, sir. Are you there?
I think he left.
I think he left. In the middle. I wanted to bring him in, but we got on to something else. But Captain Halbe is.
I would want to really thank you to bring up into a platform like this, where we can be discussing, both the professions, which is not very much heard for women. Thank you so much for the thoughts and our inputs into it. Also, thank you to everybody who have been such a positive feedback. And thank you.
We will run this recording in our magazine in the August issue of C-Link. C-Link is India's first audio-visual magazine. So we'll run the full recording, and then we will viral it onto other platforms also, of course, and we will send it to all other this thing. We know a lot of work is being done by IMEC, by ITF, by the International Association, the IMO, in all field. I'm sure DGCA also is doing their own bit, and to increase more and more women into this. And I personally, like Sunitha, I've been doing a lot of work on, not a lot of work, I mean very little work, but wanting to do much more into women leadership, because I think I have a chapter in my book, Mind Over Water, which is dedicated to women leadership, and I talk there, I speak there, and I was about to quote, but I can't find I've forgotten what I've written, the full paragraph. But the gist is that research has shown that women have greater transformational leadership than men. It is the reason for, like I said, the numbers not showing in the Fortune 500 companies, only 24 out of the 500 are females are not CEOs. The reason is that maybe our social stigmas, maybe stereotypical mentality of the society, or maybe things beyond their control. But I foresee for future when women will be on top, and they will be better role, and the world will become a better place. So with that note, I want to end this discussion because it's just exactly 1.5 hours now. And thank you all for joining in. Thanks to all our subscribers in YouTube also who are joining in through our vlogs. And thank you for your comments. And if there are any questions, further questions, then I'll take them. And I will get back to you with those questions so I can give. It's been a lovely session. And thanks so much. Best wishes to the ladies during the sky, leading the skies and the seas, Captain Sunitha and Captain Shushmita. Namaskar from Mind Over Water, Sea Link, and thank you all for, and have a great week ahead. Thank you very much for this wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.